Hello, everyone. This is Getachew from Buzz Radio. Joined with me today is Amelia Moore. I'm super excited to be chatting to you today. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. Thanks for having me. How are you?
Yeah, no worries. I'm super excited to be talking to you. You have so many exciting things coming up. You're such a talented young artist, and you've had so many exciting things this year, and I think we can get into it all. But
Yeah.
first, I want to talk a little bit about your EP that dropped, Teaching a Robot to Love. And well, first, I want to talk a little bit about your EP. It's super raw, super emotional, but also so fun to listen to.
Mm.
You've done really well to sort of blend the two, and I wanted to know how was that? Because there's a lot of electro pop sounds in there. It's really hardcore, but like I said, it's also super deep and slow. And I wanted to know just like what the vision was for the EP, and if yeah, how did that
Yeah.
start?
Well, this EP was like, honestly, girl, just a whole lot I had to get off my chest. And it just so happened that we had a lot of days scheduled to be in the studio right as I was going through this breakup with this one super, super, super terrible guy. Like, obviously, you can hear in the music, like, how I felt about the entire situation.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
um it was really just me and my best friends writing and making this music, and I was so connected to every single word. And there were some days where I was in a good mood and I was feeling like I could write a more fun upbeat song like Moves, and other days where I literally could not even make it to the door without crying. And that's how the title track was made, because I was just like sitting on the couch bawling and my friends were like deciphering my tears and like writing down what I was saying.
yeah,
So it was honestly just a lot of like me collaborating with people that know me really well and people that I get to call my best friends, and we were able to make something that I think is really special. And also, like I said, every single line was things that were either said out loud because I actually felt them, or you know what I mean? It was just all
yeah,
very real. And
yeah.
thank you for recognizing that and saying it's fun to listen to.
Yeah, I mean, it's no I specifically Vinegar. I find that song very interesting because I actually first heard your stripped live version first.
Mm,
That was
mhm,
my introduction to that song. So
cool.
I first heard that as like this super, deep, and it is. It's super deep, super emotional, super raw, and kind of type of song you gotta like scream in the car by yourself moment. And then I heard your studio version, which is it's so different, but also
Yeah.
still so beautiful in the same way. And it's like I don't know if I would have. It's interesting how the two different sounds. Do you think you'll be doing more stripped versions of your songs eventually?
Yeah, totally. One thing I really wanted to accomplish in doing these strip versions was to kind of exactly like you said, give the song a completely different reimagined sound and strip it completely back, because me and my producer for this project specifically were kind of like maximalists, and everything came out very pop and crispy and um like very like electronic like you were saying, but reducing a song to its like simplest form with either just one instrument being strings, or other songs that I did with just acoustic guitar or electric guitar or even just piano, really give the song the opportunity to speak for itself with the lyrics. And I believe good songs win at the end of the day, and writing is something that's really important to me. So getting the song to be heard in a different way is something that I really, really love. So I will be doing more of those in the future.
Oh, I'm so excited because you have one of those voices that is just I mean, I love electropop, but I need more stripped. I need more
Mm,
you, and I love it. So I'm excited for that for real.
thank
Um
you.
what was your so I know there was a lot of lows in the album while making it. Going through a
Mm.
breakup, not fun at all. But what was some of your highs while creating an album? Some moments that you kind of just, I'm gonna remember this. This is something I'm gonna remember for the rest of my life. What were some of those moments looking like?
I mean, like I said, every day just showing up to the studio with my best friends that are like also my favorite writers that I get to work with ever. And either like there are just so many moments that we were just like goofing around and writing these songs. But I think honestly, all of the high from creating the project came after it was released, because it just felt like this massive weight like lifted off of my chest. And I was like, okay, I did that. That's the exhale. That's the end of this chapter. Like, we're not this heartbroken girly anymore. I needed to write this for myself and to give myself closure. And thankfully, I was doing that with people that I was comfortable telling the story around. But I think the moments that I'm going to hold on to and remember the most are celebrating the project being out and just like closing that chapter in my life, because that was a really, really big deal for me.
Yeah, I bet. I love that. Especially just like having that moment to cherish with your friends. Like it wasn't just
Yeah.
you, it wasn't just your experience, but it was all of you together. That's so beautiful. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
So when making this EP, I know that, some artists like to do different, different eras of their music, switch up to something completely different. Do you think that there's something that you sort of learned about your sound or who you are as an artist that you think you'll carry into other albums, or do you think you kind of want to do something completely different?
I think every session you learn a lesson from. Like there's always something that comes out of a day being in the studio, even if the session is like absolutely terrible, you still learn something about yourself and about your voice and about your writing. And I learned a lot about my writing and how I'm not afraid to either not rhyme or just like use quirky, like weird, unconventional words. I love Julia Michaels. She's one of my favorite writers ever, and she does that really well.
Yeah.
One thing that I learned while writing this project that I'm definitely going to take with me for future projects is just like being super conversational. And if I want to say something, if it doesn't rhyme, I'm going to say what I want to say rather than focusing on, does it fit in this like rhyme scheme or this like bar here? What's going on? Just
Right.
like say what you need to say. And I think Julia does that really, really well. But in the future for this next era of music, I think sonically, I'm definitely looking to switch it up a little bit and move into some other type of music that I really, really love creating. Not in like a crazy, like super left way, but I don't want to say too much.
I know. I have a feeling it's like, oh, I want to know, but at the same time, I get it. There's beauty in the mystery, so I appreciate that.
There is.
You talk about Julie Michaels and some of your favorite writers. Who would you like to collaborate with in the future, you think?
Besides Julie Michaels, because that's all I'm gonna say. I don't even need to say anything else. Justin Bieber has just been like a long wish of mine. I think our voices would sound absolutely insane together. I really love Lorde a lot. Lorde is also one of my favorite artists and writers. I think it'd be really, really fire to write with her. Who else? I love Justin Timberlake. I'm a big Justin Timberlake fan.
Okay.
I would like to like get in with Pharrell one day.
Yeah.
Because like obviously he's just so fire. But for now, like I think it's really important to come up with the people you're coming up with. You know what I mean? I'm so proud of my team and everybody that I write with now. And it's like really, really cool to see all of us come up together, because even my producers and my writers are also killing it and working with other artists and grinding and working their tushies off. So as we come up together, those like collabs will just happen naturally, which is something I'm really excited for.
Awesome. Speaking of collaborations, you just had a single, Next Door. I want to know, I mean, so many people I've already seen like on TikTok, just so many people being like, I can relate. This is my next song. Like, this is me and my boyfriend's like song together. And I think it's so cute. I want to know a little bit more about, I'm sure, I mean, the song itself is a little self-explanatory. It's a really cute love story. But in terms of writing it, how fun was that collaborating with Austin and working with him to record and everything?
Yeah, it was so much fun. So this song has actually been a long time coming because
Okay.
we wrote it like 3 years ago, girl. Honestly, it's
Oh,
been a while.
wow. Wow.
Yeah. And I was in a session with my homie Anthony Watts and my producer Pink Slip, and we were finishing another song. We were towards the end of the session, and Pink pulled this beat up, and he was like, "Before you guys leave, I just needed to freestyle over this, like really, really quick." And the first thing Anthony does is he grabs the microphone and he's like, "I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love with the girl next door." And we were like, "Okay, well that's fire." And after that session, Pink texted us. Was like, "Yo, we actually should really, really finish this. Like, this is the bounce. I have this whole idea. Like, the guy comes in, like singing the first verse, like being in love with the girl next door, and then Amelia comes in, second verse, like talking about how she's in love with her neighbor, and they see each other, and it's this whole story. Another 6 months go by, and we still like don't touch this song at all until we finally like get a day on the calendar. We're like, okay, we're gonna finish the song. And it was so much fun. Like, again, just being in the studio with the homies, like goofing off. I think that's when you create your best art, is when you're just surrounded by the people that you're most comfortable with and are not afraid to present a bad idea in front of.
Yeah.
But we write the song and we're trying to like get it placed somewhere else. But Austin and I have known each other for like 4 years now. And he used to produce my demos when I was like 16 years old, whenever he lived in Panama City and I lived in Georgia. And I signed a Capitol last year. He signed a Warner last year. We've both just been like grinding and again, like coming up together. So it like felt like it was the right time for us to have a song together
Yeah.
because it was also a long time coming. So it just came together in a really, really great way. And we're all so proud of it because it's all just like homey stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy to see the song doing really well.
I know. I can't believe that it's been so long in the making. I'm glad it's finally out. I'm glad you're able to have fun with it now. Especially, I've been
Yeah.
seeing you all over on TikTok. How is that actually, promoting and posting? I feel like nowadays being an artist kind of goes hand in hand with being an influencer, with like, I would say maybe 10 years ago, like, those things were completely different, but
For
now it's
sure.
sort of, that pressure sort of built into the career. So how is that, kind of realizing that, everything's out there? I mean, you're pretty open with your life on TikTok. You're pretty
Mhm.
casual. And how do you think balancing that out, like your privacy and also your mental health and everything like that?
It's tough. I think I complain about it, and I know a lot of other artists complain about it too, but at the end of the day, girl, like it's a part of the job description now. Like as an artist, like you said, it's just a part of what we have to do, and artists have had to evolve with the industry changing in the past, and this is just another thing that we have to learn at getting good. Like we have to
Yeah.
learn to get good at doing this. But I think the most important part is just keeping it fun and not forcing it and keeping it natural. I think people don't want to be marketed to, like even me as a consumer on TikTok, like if I see somebody trying to specifically market to me, I'm swiping like right away. You just have to keep it fun and light. And yes, there is pressure, but you just have to figure out that balance. And it's tough because there are weeks for me sometimes where I'm like, this is the last thing I want to think about. I don't want to post it all. But I think the videos that you care the least about end up doing the best because
Yeah.
they're the most relatable. So just
Yeah.
keeping that in mind and not taking yourself too seriously, I think are the keys, especially for me.
Man, I love that attitude about it, because I think it's so easy to be really negative with, the way you see social media, especially as an artist, I think. And
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of artists and talked to a lot of artists who, they're kind of the opposite, where they're like, if I absolutely do not need to, I will not be on social media. I don't want anything to
Mm,
do with it. And you know
mhm.
what, like I'm already vulnerable enough with my music, and that's all you're getting, which is fair, which is a
Mhm.
fair. But it's also super refreshing, I think, to see this new wave of artists who are coming in and embracing social media. you know I think some people don't want to get too caught up in being tacky and on TikTok and things like that, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, if you're not embracing it, you might get lost, you might get swept away, and it's fun. So, why
Yeah.
not? Why not?
Yeah.
Um,
True, 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 true.
I want to talk a little bit about your look, because you you're out there. I love your hair, your makeup, your eyebrows, your everything. And I want to talk a little bit about kind of, because I know that your background, coming from a little bit more of a conservative uh, family and style, I'm sure that all of this is super, I mean, I wouldn't say unfamiliar, but super exciting.
Mm.
And how is that expressing yourself through your fashion and everything?
Yeah.
How's that journey been? Yeah.
And yeah, you know what I mean? It's been really cool. Like, I think since I moved out, I went to college in Nashville for a little bit, for a year and a half, before I dropped out and moved to LA. And whenever I moved to Nashville, I felt so much freedom to be able to just experiment with what I wanted to wear and how I wanted to dress and what I was comfortable in, because what I grew up around style wise was just like simply a nightmare. Like, just picture homeschool, like conservative church people, like
Mm,
what they would wear,
mm,
girl. Like,
mhm.
it was a lot. It was a lot. And I finally started to experiment and like grow into myself once I moved out of the house. And even moving to LA was such a big, one, culture shock, but two, eye opener to, no one's going to judge me if I wear this today. And people are actually probably going to think it's cool. And
And
I'm
they
just so
do.
thankful
And
to,
they do.
yeah, and they do. And I'm really thankful to have really dope people around me that like support my stylistic decisions. Dyeing my hair orange was something that I thought about doing for a really long time. And I called my mom after my hair appointment and she cried, which was hilarious. And
No.
I know, just like, it makes sense. It's fine.
It's
Like,
your life though.
whatever.
It's yeah, she'll
It's
get
my
over it.
life, and my hair is orange, and I just bleached my eyebrows recently, which I'm loving. I think it's so much
It
fun.
looks
Just
so
for this,
cute.
like, thank you for this next era of music. I wanted to switch it up a little bit, but yeah, I have been loving getting into fashion more recently, because that's definitely something that I want to continue to evolve into in the future as my career as an artist like unfolds. But yeah, like being in LA and experimenting with random things and layers has been like monumental to let me grow into myself and into my style.
I love that. I love the evolution of you, and I love chatting with you. Could you plug some of your socials where people can find you before we go?
Yeah, absolutely. You can find me anywhere and everywhere at I Cry at Work. TikTok, Instagram. We finally got Twitter, because for a while it wasn't
Woo!
my Twitter handle, but now we have it.
Yay.
Venmo, girl, you can Venmo me at I Cry at Work, please. That everything should be the same everywhere. So come find me.